Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips in the balance of the favor of fair use. We often hear that the phrase, family's everything. But what happens when certain family members bring more stress to you than support? Let's explore today what that truly means and if it has any impact on maybe any karmic relationship that you had with them in a past life and what that energy is today. When it comes to that, please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Father God, Mother God, all that there is in you is in all of us. I want to thank you for what you have done today, what you're doing tomorrow, and what you're doing right now. I ask you to protect us from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet and from one side to the next. And may this information resonate and help those that it's intended for. Ashe. Even though we've been taught to prioritize our family connections, remember not all relationships are healthy or worth maintaining. Some of these family dynamics can be toxic, and they end up draining your energy, your self-esteem, or maybe even your peace of mind. Let's deep dive into what type of family members that, even though they may pressure us to stay close, but are not worth keeping in touch with in order to protect your peace and your spirit. And if you understand what these toxic traits, maybe this can help you to make more informed choices about what truly deserves a place in your life. You feel me? All right. You have a family member that's a constant critic, the one who always seems to have an opinion on everything, and it's always negative. Nothing that you do is ever good enough. Every achievement is downplayed, and every mistake seems like it's underneath the magnifying glass. And this type of constant criticism is damaging to your self-esteem and your mental health. And dealing with that type of person can lead to stress and anxiety as they make you doubt your abilities and even your own worth. Did you know that people who receive this type of negative criticism from either their parents are more at risk of depression? So if you're dealing with a family member who fits this type of description, it might be best for you to distance yourself from them, and so you can preserve your mental health, your heart, and your spirit, and your joy, because that's more important than maintaining a relationship that only brings you down. Let's tap in and see what that energy is today with that person. The cards have already been pre-shuffled. I'm using two decks. The first deck I'm using is the truth. This is what you're feeling right now with this type of family member running away. You want to get away, you want them to keep away from you, but I don't understand why you want to give up. Oh, you're giving up on the relationship. If if they're constantly being negative towards you, then yeah, you do want to get away, and that is the truth. But don't run into other situations that this person may have caused for you. Slow down. Let me hear. Stand up for yourself. Even though you may be running away because you don't want to deal with this type of situation or anything like that, but you're running straight into a storm. What does your past life karmic relationship look like? Exactly. Just like they said. You got to stand your ground. There's somewhere in this type of past life that you had to, even though you felt as though you need to run away and get away from that type of person, you're running into a storm. It's time for you to start standing your ground. That's the lesson here that needs to be learned. There is something that you want to fight for, and that is your peace. And if you don't confront this type of person and get them out of your space, you will be choosing to hide instead. What you can do with this person is to create a boundary and stand 10 toes down and speak up for what you believe in. That's the lesson. That's why this type of person in your family, or maybe even outside of your family, but since this is a concentration on your family, there's somebody in your family that you need to stand your ground with. Don't run away. Stand your ground and let them know how you feel. And thus the lesson will be learned. Ashe, Ashe. Family member number two, the emotional vampire. We've all encountered an emotional vampire at some point in our lives. You know we have. You know we have. And these are the people who, after spending time with them, leave you feeling so drained and so exhausted by their antics. At every family gathering, this person will probably corner you off and unload all their problems, criticisms, and negativity on your ass. It's like they are sucking the life out of you. And it'll leave you with, when you depart from whatever it is away from that person, you're not feeling refreshed or connected, but rather tired and stressed out. These kinds of relationships are not healthy, you know. And dealing with an energy vampire can lead to burnout or even physical health issues over time. So if you have an emotional vampire in your family that you're dealing with, it might be best to limit your interactions with them for the sake of your own well-being. Ashe, Ashe. What's the truth? The truth of the matter is that this family member is treating you like you are a pet, that you are like one of their animals, their loyal animals, whether it's a dog, a cat, or any type of animal friend, and they're treating you as such. And you feel, well, that's the way you feel that they're treating you. They're an energy vampire. They are sucking the life out of you. How do you deal with this type of karmic relationship? This is something that you had to deal with in a past life. Again, the divine is telling you that you need to speak your truth. You have been too quiet for too long. You have to speak up and stand your ground and state what you see, your perspective. They ain't gonna like it. Well, we already know that they're not gonna like it, but you got to let them know how you feel. It's not just about because the way that the relationship that they have with you, maybe they're an older person. That's why they're treating you like you're the pet. You're the pet. Maybe you're one of their favorites because you stand there and you allow them to suck out your life force. You've been through this before. Now is the time for you to stand your ground and state the way that you're feeling and how you see it. And once you do that, lesson learned. You will rise to a higher vibration when you let your voice be heard. Ashe, Ashe. The third type of family member is the guilt trip. We know that guilt is a very powerful emotion and it can make us do things that we don't want to do to stay in that type of relationship that isn't good for us, even though they are a family member. They will manipulate your perception of reality. And some of these family members that you're dealing with are masters at using this guilt as a tool to control you. They might even make you feel responsible for their happiness or blame you for their problems. You may have a guilt inducing parent that are linked to your having poor mental health or even, instilled in you as a child and coming forward as an adult. Huh. So if you're dealing with a family member who regularly uses guilt to manipulate you, it could be time for you to reconsider that relationship with them. And it's not about you being mean or anything like that. It's about you protecting your mental health and ensuring that you have healthy boundaries in place with this type of relationship. I mean, to put you on a guilt trip, it's crazy. It's crazy. I want to be clear with this. The way you're feeling about this family member is silence. They have guilted you so bad that you have remained silent and they're coercing you. And all you're doing is trying to give out hints about what's happening, what's going on about this family member. This family member is very close to you. Um, Meaning that it's not an extended, meaning that it's not a cuz or anything like that. This is closer in your family unit. They're guilting you about something that happened in your past. What is this karmic relationship? Oh, oh. They feel as though you have more opportunity than they have. They know that you have the ability to go and follow your passion, and that there's something that excites you and motivates you to do the things that you're doing. Your Akashic record, your past life, had you in abundance, had you in abundance. It's telling you don't silence it. You got to let them know. That's the whole thing about the karmic relationship. You got to let them know that you will no longer allow them to treat you as such, that they blame you for whatever happens to them. It's not your thing, it's their thing. It's their cross to bear, not yours. Ashe. The next type of family member is the gaslighter. Remember that gaslighting is a form of manipulation. When someone tries to make you doubt your own perceptions, your memories, or even your sanity. A family member who gaslights you might dismiss your feelings, twist the truth, or deny things that happen that you know that happened. And that can lead to a lot of confusion, some self doubt, and most importantly, some mental health issues. Know that this family member that's gaslighting you is common manipulation. And it's used by people who are abusive. And this is a serious, serious form of emotional abuse that can have long term effects on your well being. Now, when it comes to this, the truth of the matter is that just the reason why this family member may be gaslighting you might have something to do with money. I believe that it's all around some type of money because they're having money problems, or even you. It could be that they may owe you money, or they're constantly coming to you and draining your pockets, yo. That's the truth of the matter. You know what I'm saying? Because they can recognize that you have success and you may have fortune, or you might have a little, a little bit more bread than they do. So their whole thing is like, yo, let me hold something, or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, let's say that their luck turns around and they do get, whatever they're looking for. Then all of a sudden they don't forgot memory, gaslighting you. You didn't do that for me. Da 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 da. It's about money. Don't don't mark my words. It's about money. And what does that have to do with one of your past lives? What is the lesson? The lesson is that you are going to be disappointed. You already know because of a recent outcome. You need to accept what it is and stop allowing this person to gaslight you. That's the lesson. Remember, if one door closes for you, you're going to be redirected to one that will soon open to your true soul path. This right here, they're obstructing it. And if you allow this situation to continue to go on, accept who they are and move accordingly. That's the lesson. And make sure that you don't entangle yourself in any of these type of tactics or antics. Not only with a family member, you don't have to accept that behavior. You feel me? You ain't got to. The next type of family member is the dismissive one. the one that doesn't hear you or understand you. And that is a need. That's a human need for somebody to hear you and understand you. We all want our thoughts and our feelings and our experience to matter to those people that are around us, especially our family. But some family members will dismiss that. They'll ignore how you feel. They'll belittle you in your experience, what's going on, and they make you feel like you're overreacting or you're being too sensitive. And this type of behavior that you don't have to put up with is very hurtful. And it can make you feel that you're insignificant and you're unworthy. And over time, it will damage your self esteem. So, having your emotions regularly dismissed will lead you to some type of isolation or maybe even depression. So, if this family member consistently dismisses your feelings, it might be time to rethink how much contact that you have. Okay, so what I'm getting from this, it has something to do with the relationship that you was in. And this person that you was with, okay? You met them um in a situation where it was unexpected. And you know when they say that you meet somebody and it's love at first sight, it's something like that you went with this person, and you were confiding in your family member, and they constantly always find some down shit about anything that you do. They don't want to hear it. But you know what I just heard? It might be a level of jealousy involved in that. And what is the Akashic say about that? Hmm. The judgment. Judgment. There's a lesson here. What it is that you're holding on to the judgment. They're judging you, so therefore you're judging them back because they hurt your feelings by their words and their actions. And whether it's releasing judgment about yourself that you're doing something wrong, trust and believe that you're not. You're not. And when a family member, I almost said who they were in relation to you, I'm gonna say it anyway. When a cousin does that to you, right? It clouds your vision. So you need to release that and see the world and your path with much clearer eyes. This is your encounter. This is your situation. But what the ancestors and the divine is trying to point out to you is the ancestors. Okay. What they're trying to point out to you is this. Stop judging yourself based upon them. You're going to run into this type of person a lot. Trust your own discernment and release the judgment that you have over yourself and over them. Do not rely on this cousin. This cousin does not have your best at heart. The next type of family member is the non apologizer. As you know, it's always good to take accountability and apologize, and that's important. And they are, the apologies are, how we acknowledge that we've made a mistake or we hurt somebody else, and that's how you maintain healthy relationships, accountability. You may have a relative who never took responsibility for their actions, and they'll say hurtful things and act selfish and even lie, but they never apologize because it's always your fault. And this refusal to apologize can make you question whether that person, that family member, even valued your relationship at all. And if they can't admit that they're wrong or that they hurt you, how can you even trust it? Dealing with someone who doesn't apologize, who doesn't take accountability, can lead to feelings of resentment and a loss of trust. Trust and respect are key in any relationship. And without them, it's hard to maintain a healthy connection. Not taking accountability. Here's the truth of the matter. Because they don't take accountability for what they do, you, on the other hand, are feeling as though there's nobody that takes accountability for them hurting you. You don't feel that you have any people on your side. You feel that it's the end and it feels like a lost opportunity for you because of how they treat you. So if a family member can do that shit to you, then you feel as though everybody else will do that. Here's the lesson. The lesson is to learn how to detach. When you have somebody around you who never takes accountability or apologizes for their actions, the divine is asking you to detach from something that you've been holding on to. That's the lesson. And you hold on to it tightly, too tightly, to make sure that there is a desired outcome that you're looking for. It's going to restrict your flow. And trust that the outcome will work out and let go of your attachment to it. Release them with love. You don't need to subject yourself to that. And you do have people that care about you. Don't allow this family member or family members make you feel anything less, making you feel empty on the inside. The next type of family member is the controlling one, the one that wants to control, even though it may be subtle. It might start out as a concern or some advice to you, but when it turns into telling you what to do, how you should feel, who you should be with, it becomes a problem. This controlling family member may dictate your choices, dismiss any of your opinions, and manipulate you into doing what they want you to do. This is a dangerous relationship. Being controlled can lead to feelings of helplessness and loss of personal identity. And if you find yourself constantly bending to the will of this family member, you need to step back and reassess that relationship. Everybody has the right to make their own choices. And you don't need to live your life the way they want it to live. Here's the truth. You're sorry. You're feeling sorry because you're not living up to the expectations of what they put on you. It's not their life, it's yours. It's always the unspoken apology It's always an internal regret because you feel as though you're letting them down. But here's the lesson: you got to have patience with yourself. Patience. You're being asked to practice patience right now. It's not easy to do this, but you're strong, and there's a reason why things aren't aligning in the way that you want them in this moment. You got to have some patience, and it'll eventually work out. Stop allowing people to dictate to you, to dictate your life. There's nothing that you need to be sorry about. If anybody should be apologizing, it should be them. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. You got to have some patience with yourself. Get out of that mindset that they know best. You know best. You are living a divinely guided life, and you may trip up a lot. But as long as you trip forward, you're already ahead of the game. You don't want to fall back. You want to trip forward. We all go through this. But allowing that other family member to control you and tell you what you need to be doing, that's where all the drama comes in at, when somebody's expectation is trying to overtake somebody else. Everybody is uniquely, divinely created. And you, beloved, are your own person. And the last type of family member is the passive aggressive. Understand that passive aggressive behavior can be tricky to put your finger on, but it's just as damaging. And when somebody expresses their negative feelings indirectly instead of openly addressing them, you might have a family member who uses sarcasm, silent treatment, or backhanded compliments to express their dissatisfaction with you or anger. And this type of behavior can leave you feeling confused, frustrated, and hurt. And that is a form of emotional manipulation. Don't get it twisted. That can cause you stress and strain in your relationships. Beloved, an open and honest communication is essential for having a healthy relationship. And if you have a family member who is regularly exhibiting passive aggressive behavior, reconsider the role that they play in your life. Ashe, Ashe. So here's the truth: you are independent, you're free, you can lead people, and you take the initiative. This right here with this passive aggressive, to me, oh my God. All of the sarcasm and slick ass shit that come out of their mouth, you ain't got to deal with that. You're an independent person. Put them over there in their place. Here's the lesson: they're trying to shame you for whatever shortcomings they got going on in their life, is what I'm hearing. And you have carried that burden of this type of person or personality for long enough. And it's time for you to release the guilt that you placed on yourself. They are not going to change by their actions towards you. There's a backstory there. That's the lesson. You're going to deal with a lot of people that have a lot of backstories and they have their own guilt, shame, and everything else that they have going on with them. Your lesson is that when you release that guilt of trying to, be around them to just because they're family, let's keep it a buck. But you don't have to sanction that behavior. And once you release that guilt that you're ready to just move on because of your independence, you'll be ready to start that new chapter in your life. Set some goals and begin taking action toward your happiness. They're sarcastic for a reason. Misery likes company. So what do? They rather tear you down with all the little snide remarks because they know it's hurting their feelings, because you value family. But the lesson here, like I told you, is to get out of the shame. Ashe. At the end of the day, it's all about your self care, your peace. And families can be very complicated. And sometimes the hardest part is recognizing, acknowledging that they have toxic patterns too. And deciding to distance yourself from certain family members can be challenging, but prioritizing your mental health and your emotional well being is crucial. Family isn't just about blood, it's about the relationship that nurtures and supports you. And by choosing to let go of those who consistently bring negativity into your life, you'll be making space for more meaningful and uplifting connections. I want to thank you for stopping by Blended Healing on today. I hope I was able to shed some light and give you the truth as well as what the lesson is. You are uniquely, divinely created. Remember who you are and whose you are. And I'll see you soon.
Plenty like a Georgia peach tree, kicking sweet tweet behind the scenes, running down your beach. Water flooding me, feeling up to my teeth. I looked over to the left. I think we should let it rain tonight. No, I love it when we slip inside. Don't stop, loving got enough supply. Sleep, wake up and repeat. You'll get every little bit. You ain't never seen a trip like this. Have you at your fingertips? Don't you let a minute slip. Just say you have me. Oh, taste and see. Hope you don't sleep on me. I got good and plenty.
I've been all the spaces in between. It's magic when I place you in the beam. An average day spent all in the sheets. Emphatic when I tell you what you mean to me. Chemistry, intimate memories. Every time I give you all my energy. Emphasis, never sleep.
Never sleep.